Welcome back. Paul Renner was the Speaker of the Florida House from 2022 to 2024 during the height of the culture war battles in Florida. This week, he jumped into the governor's race and will be challenging Byron Donalds for the Republican nomination. I started by asking him why he's running.
Well, Jim, I'm a father of two young kids, so questions about the future are always there and what's going to happen to Florida for the next 4 to 8 years. I was one of the key architects in building the Florida that I love, and I don't want to see us go backwards, but I also know we have challenges. And so I've had a lifetime of leadership experience, 20 years in the military, served in 2 wars, also a state prosecutor just up the road in Broward County. And as Speaker of the House, many said that those 2 years were the most consequential we've had in quite some time from a legislative standpoint. And so I've taken on challenges people said couldn't be fixed. We've fixed them. And so you need somebody like that as governor to fix the challenges ahead.
Now, the current governor met your announcement with a bit of both derision and dismissal. He sort of said, running for what, when it was said that you were running for governor of what? And then he called it ill-advised. What's your reaction to how Governor DeSantis, who you claimed was your partner during those consequential years, responded to your announcement?
Well, I think he'll be there eventually, certainly as a Republican nominee, hopefully sooner, but his legacy and mine are inextricably linked during my 2 years as Speaker for sure. So I'm sure he'll get there at some point.
So obviously, since Byron Donalds had already announced, there is a clear reality that you must think that you're a better choice than Byron Donalds. So why do you believe you're better to be governor than the one man who is already announced in the race, as well as a man who has the backing of the president of the United States, Donald Trump?
Well, our ultimate opponent is going to be whoever the Democrats put up. But I'll say this. I think there's 3 things that voters want to look at, not just endorsements. Who do I trust? Who's got a lifetime of leadership experience, and who's shown up to the battle and delivered results to solve the problems of the people of Florida. Politicians talk, but people want solutions to their problems. And we tackled the insurance crisis and made progress. I don't believe we're where we need to be yet, but we've done that. We cut taxes. We did educational freedom through the Universal School Choice Scholarship, which has been huge for so many parents to alleviate their cost of education. And so people said, even on the advocate side, said you can't get that done. There's too many special interest pressures. But while I was leading the House and with a lot of great men and women in the House and Senate, we got it done. And so if you want to know who can solve the unsolvable problems, go to somebody who's already solved them.
One of the issues that you passed when you were there, one of those issues that you talked about, is the abortion ban. It was under your tenure, under your time, that the 6-week abortion ban passed in Florida. We saw the vote just recently in terms of that 57% of the public did not support the 6-week ban and instead wanted to return it to a different standard closer to what Roe was. Are you out of step on that issue? And do you still believe in a 6-week abortion ban?
Well, Jim, they spent over $100 million, and I've never seen a bigger pack of lies about what our bill did, that we had no rape exception. We have exceptions for incest, life of the mother, health of the mother, these types of things. We also have we put a lot of money into helping moms and dads once they have that baby that were obviously never in those advertisements. And so it was really a misinformation campaign. I saw another poll here recently after that vote that showed 64% support for what we did, with the exceptions, with the things we built out to really help moms and dads raise families. So I was involved in the opposition to Amendment 3 and 4. And for conservatives, you want somebody that wasn't in my job description as Speaker to go out and fight when outside interests want to come in and jam their agenda into our Constitution.
One of the things that I think you voted on when you were in the House was the Parkland related bill as it came to guns. I know that Byron Donalds voted against, raising the age requirement to 21. I believe you voted as part of that package. Do you regret that vote? Do you still support the legislation that came out of the Parkland tragedy?
It was a tough vote because I'm not a gun control guy. I'm a Second Amendment guy. But what I also had to decide is, am I going to vote against ending gun-free zones? This is what we did. We have an armed deputy or a guardian in every single school so that if a bad guy with a gun comes in, there better be a good guy with a gun. You saw what happened up in Minneapolis. And so I'm in favor of gun-free zones. I'm in favor of the school hardening that bill did. It did a lot of things to help, kids' mental health. It's into the siloing where this kid had been in touch with law enforcement and schools. He'd been in trouble all over the place and nobody communicated. And so that bill had a ton of good things in it. Now, there were things that I didn't necessarily support, but that's the bill I had to vote on. And so I'm glad I voted for that bill, but I also, as House Speaker, we voted in part to undo part of that gun control stuff.
Well, let's break that down just a little bit. Red flag laws. Do you believe that red flag laws are appropriately being used in Florida, and would you continue to support their use in Florida so that, again, for those who may not recall what red flag laws are, if there are concerns that a person with weapons may be a harm to himself or others, it gives the ability for law enforcement to go in and remove those guns. Do you still support those red flag laws?
And the key thing you just said is a harm to themselves or others. And I think that's when you start to trip over whether and I've seen some of these cases, Jim, where somebody thinks their apartment buildings being poisoned by the CIA and they're going to go shoot up their neighbors. I don't think it's an infringement of the Second Amendment to say, with proper due process, and it's got to be proper, is that, hey, we're going to take a pause. We're going to put this stuff over here until you get some help. And we know whether you're a threat to yourselves or others. Nobody, I don't think, in the Second Amendment community contests that if you are a danger to yourself or others, that you should be holding a steak knife, much less a weapon. And so properly applied, I see the value. The sheriffs certainly do. But I want to make sure there's adequate due process. What you shouldn't be doing is saying, hey, you got a Trump sticker on your car, we're taking your guns. I'm not okay with that.
I don't know that anyone necessarily is, but one last thing with regard to guns, one of the aspects of that law was also to raise the legal age to possess a long gun from 18 to 21. Would you, as governor, seek to repeal that and bring that back to 18?
Yes, look, I'm a military guy, and so I can go and fight and die for my country at age 18. And so we did put up twice, the House did, the Senate didn't take it, to ease that back to where it has been, because that's the age. If you want to change the age of adulthood, that's fine. But yeah, I do support that change and did support it as Speaker.